number 13. Unlucky for some, not for us. 2,000 subscribers, Reese. How are we getting on?
Oh, excellent. I can't believe we're here. It's a big milestone. As you said, yeah, unlucky for some, not for the Hustle Brothers or for our community. We're here. And yeah, how's your week been, Liam?
Do you know what? It's been a wild week. Market started pretty nicely. We've seen the likes of Trump doubling down, saying he's not going all in on his tariffs.
Yeah.
But after today, looking at Archer, what are we 7.5% down? Joby actually held up quite nicely.
Yeah.
1.5% down. But have you any news this week, Wish?
No, nothing major. Just another week of sort of treading water, I think, in the stock market. But as we're always saying, we've got to look at the bigger picture. Like these 10, even if it went 10% up or 10% down, it wouldn't really affect the longer goal. Yeah, pretty much. I think I've done a video there about Joby, and that's sort of what I wanted to jump onto straight away. I think it's been getting a little bit of stick from us lately. I think would be putting it lightly. Let's say
go through phases.
That's exactly what it is.
The other.
Yeah, exactly. And literally, we've always said it's a 2-horse race in our eyes. And then one pulls ahead, and then the other pulls ahead, and you sort of sway from one side to the other, and you want to dip in of that one and then out of the other. And that's why we've always said keep a position in both, because you don't know which one is going to take off. The Pepsi, Coca-Cola, as we always say. But the one thing I did want to bring up, the PR side, is the tweet or the X post that they done, where they were mentioning about the delivery of the second vehicle to the Edwards base. And this is actually something that they'd done in January, but they're sort of recycling that and reposting it just to make sure no one forgets we're the only ones that have delivered to the Department of Defense, and the aircrafts are actually there, like physically there, and they're getting tested at the moment.
Do you feel like it's a little bit of a hit towards Archer, knowing that there's all this press going out about Archer Defense?
Yes, 100%. Because looking into it, they're going to be carrying out rigorous testing once they're in the Air Force Base, in this Edwards Air Force Base. And I think that can be reported back and might help them with their type certification. Because all of the tests that they're running, you wouldn't be surprised if that's getting fed straight back to Joby, and then they're implementing it in their design. And how much better than with the Air Force?
It made me kind of think, like, we're all looking at this and it's who gets commercialized first and that. But is it sort of a race who delivers the most to the Department of Defense, therefore have to dilute less, and therefore will get not only commercialized, but able to have a stable business up and running, being able to generate these commercial vehicles ready for off?
Don't you think it's quite interesting, though, how interested the Department of Defense seem in Evtols, and they seem to think it is a route that they want to be going down? I see in mentions of cargo trips, and then also it seems the hybrid model is the one they want to do, so it must be long-distance cargo trips that they want to do. I don't know if that's because they're pushing sustainability, or is there the fact that it's silent, it can move quickly?
I think it'd be a cross between stealth-wise, but also if these were going in, say like they were, I don't know, no, do not quote me on this, but if they were like, say, medic vehicles or something like that going into the front line, you don't know, have you fuel on the front line? You don't know, is there electricity on the front line? It sort of gives you like a dual purpose vehicle. I don't think they'll be weaponized whatsoever. I know Bag of Hold'em thought they were going to be like drone-like vehicles. I can't really see that. Scouting areas, they're just not quick enough.
Yeah, not yet. Or maybe that could actually be it, where they're medic vehicles and you know not to shoot them down, because obviously if a plane or a helicopter comes in, people might panic and think, oh, we're being attacked. Whereas these are quite evidently not weapons of, like, they have no weapons or pose no threat.
Have you added any Joby this week?
Yeah, well, I've been adding at the moment. Payday's coming up again, so I think it's time to add some more now once we're still down in these low figures. I think in the next few months, I think we're going to see a sudden upturn again. I think the market's down at the moment. We can see that it's really being suppressed. So I wouldn't be massively shocked if we had a big rally now to push towards the end of the year. What about you? What's your plans?
So I'm going to be dead honest with you. I haven't really been looking at the market that much this week. So I haven't added anything. The only thing that is it's a bit off topic, but looking quite nice at the moment for me is Tesla. I just think I need to get back into Tesla. I'm quite happy with my Joby and Archer position at the moment until I see another real pullback. Am I going adding more? I just don't want to go in too heavy into Archer and Joby yet. I think
the thing is,
we may get a push down before we get a push up, and because I'm happy enough with where I'm at.
Yeah, but if
I don't know. I just feel like I'll have to trim.
Yeah, if we'd have said at the beginning of the year, if you got an opportunity to trade at $8.12 for Archer, I imagine not just you, but many people in the chat would have been snatching at that opportunity. And now we're sitting down.
Hands off.
And now we're sitting down there with Archer or Joby's at 6. Oh God, I don't know, 6.13 is it or?
Joby currently at the moment is at 6.57.
6.57. So both of them have a big market there from the highs that we've seen at the beginning of the year. I think at the moment I'm not saying break the bank, but just get them extra few shares in. Like in the long run, you'll be much happier that you got them 100 extra shares or whatever is within your budget. And it's just about that. It's just the accumulation, isn't it? But I want to bring it back to that Tesla comment you made. I kind of think now with the fact that Elon Musk is getting attacked so much and they're vandalizing Teslas, whatever it is it being artificially pushed down at the moment because everyone's obviously buying the stories basically. And is that actually affected their business model? I don't know. But I agree with you. I think it's a big buy.
There was a video I was going to put out yesterday. However, I think I might discuss it on here, see what everyone's thoughts are, and then see what your thoughts are on this. Because I was looking at it, I just didn't want to shoot down a wrong rabbit hole and create a Tesla only video. I didn't want it to be too heavy Tesla. But I was going to do a video on Archer and should we be worried about full self-driving. And what I'll say is, from what I'm looking at, they're a completely different product. We've said it before, the likes of Lime Bikes, I said, for example, they haven't affected Uber because it's a different use case. If anything, these robo-taxis, the full self-driving vehicles, they'll be feeding these vertiports. If you think about it, you still use buses, even though there's taxis available, yeah?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's for speed, sometimes it's for where they're going. Yeah. If you think, I could easily drive over to you, easily.
Yeah.
I could get the boat and drive over to you, but why do I use an airplane? It might be more expensive on some occasions, but I use an airplane because it's quick. I just want to get there.
Yeah,
so
that's exactly what it is.
I just think I've seen now that Tesla's starting to become more popular, being spoke about again. I don't want everyone starting to fear again that this full self-driving, as we get closer and closer to this rolling out, we've seen it being introduced in the likes of China, and they're not going to charge for it. Look, do you think EHang are too worried about full self-driving? I don't think so.
No.
What's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so just jumping onto your point there, basically the reason why some people will use the Evtol is because there's cars on the road, and the full self-driving isn't going to change that. It's just going to be, there's no drivers on the road. They're just cars. But there will still be the traffic. There's still the same amount of people, same amount of cars. It would just be the fact that there'll be nobody driving the car. People. So I still think there's a massive use case for Evtols. But sort of jumping onto that full self-driving, I don't know if this is a legit video, but I did see one on X about the full self-driving swerving into a car.
I seen that, yeah.
and I don't know if is that a recent video. I've just seen it, and I did think, oh, like I think it made the right correction at that spot in time, but a normal human would have known that they were going to swerve back. And like, can the AI actually ever judge that?
All that I think, it's more and more data being learned. Like if you look at that same video, yeah, imagine the amount of actual human-made errors that happen on the road on a daily. Yeah. So we're panning into this one time that the Tesla done it wrong. But if I look, one of my close family members had a car crash recently, and it's not AI's fault. Sometimes accidents do happen. Yes, I do think AI can be constantly improved. However, like if we bring that back to eVTOLs, then like not everything's going to be smooth sailing. First of all, when it first gets introduced. Yes, we want a 0 error rate, but I think it's different with eVTOLs because if that happens in an eVTOL, that's it, game over.
Yeah.
Whereas when it happens in a car, people sort of forgive it a little bit more. People have a short memory.
Would you say, even though it's in the sky, so obviously there's a little bit more difficulty, the fact that they don't have so many externalities on the road of like people, there could be a dog, a child, it might be a bit easier to program it because it's going up, sideways, down, sort of thing, or whatever the route is. But there's nothing in the way. Well, as long as aviation control is doing their due diligence.
Well, I think it's the exact same way as. So we're saying there'll be nothing in the way, but there would be eVTOLs on that flight path. However, they're automated, so they won't go near it. So I think Elon's vision is that they're all going to be automated. So if they're all automated, I reckon they'll be able to communicate more or less with each other. One will go right, one will go left, and they won't smash into each other. So I think we have to take into a bit of consideration that human errors could lead to AI errors, but AI is going to be blamed.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It sort of reminds me of one of my friends when he first started driving, and every time we seen him, he had a new dent on his car, and you'd always ask him, and it was always the other driver's fault.
Oh yeah,
and I think that this is very similar to this. It's like it would always be the AI's fault.
Never takes accountability.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, but there is just certain people that are just bad drivers. Obviously, in that video, we don't know, but it's an interesting one, and I can only imagine it will get better as they have more data and they keep improving that system.
I just feel like data is everything in the world lately. We talk about full self-drive, and we're talking about eVTOLs. You look at the likes of NVIDIA, Palantir. It just feels like this is the data revolution.
Yeah, it's like the .com bubble.
Could you see a pop?
I think we're still on the rise at the moment.
Yeah.
But they very well could be there. It's always like nothing goes up in a.
And at what time do you protect yourself?
I think someone with like NVIDIA, because they have to keep manufacturing the chips in order to fund the AI, and everybody's trying to use AI to make everything simpler. And that's like one of the driving forces in life, is to try and make everything simpler and easier. And everybody wants to do it. I think I think it's still in its infancy, this AI wave. It's only been the last few years where it's really pushed on. And I can't see it popping. Famous last words, isn't it? But in the near future, I'm hoping not. Anyway,
our whole channel's built around it.
I don't.
You'll be singing on the streets, dancing. You know.
I think it's until AI takes over, it's going to be on that steady rise, and then and we'll all be back to being slaves for the robot.
But guys, did any of you see that video that Archer put out about the Midnight's final design? Now I can't show it here just because we'll get banged for copyright. There's background music on it. But do you know what? I said it in the live stream before that like I don't like seeing like, oh, my seats are ready, the wings ready, the tail's ready. But you know what? This got me excited. This got me hyped.
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it, how much a video can get you like really excited because you're actually seeing it now rather than just hearing about it or reading about
Yeah.
it. Just another great bit of PR, I think, giving us all a bit of certainty.
I just can't believe the extremities they went to. Like, even the likes of the nose, they reckon that design is because they wanted it to be vertically looking because it's a vertical takeoff vehicle. And I was like, these guys are going into so much detail. When you go into that much detail on nose design, like, do you know what? I just can't see how this can't work.
Yeah.
I know, and again, that's the famous as well. And I don't want anyone in the community just jumping in just because Mr. Liam has said he can't see it not working.
Yeah.
But do you know what? It just makes me so bullish on this industry. And the fact that, like, I can't believe we've got in so early.
Yeah. I think it's you can really see how there's a few big investors that have been backing it. And that's what probably leads us on to the video that we done the other day. I don't know about if you guys and girls out there have watched that video, but we done the top 5 investors invested into Archer. And
let me actually see. Can I get it up on the screen?
There's a few big hitters. I was actually surprised of how many of them were in there and backing it, especially because of the way that Archer is at the moment. Obviously, still trying to prove the concept and get the type certification, make a revenue or make profit, aim towards that profit margin. But there's big players, and like they're well known. Or from us, they're really well known.
Yeah,
like everyone except for the Marquis Law. I've heard of.
I want to say here, there's been some words going around the comments saying that Marquis Law is no longer invested. Guys, can someone please verify that for me? Because everywhere I look, he's still included. However, if I'm wrong, 100%, like, I will address it. But everywhere we looked, he is still invested. I know he did sell out a substantial position, but as far as I'm aware, he's still invested. But please let me know. Race, BlackRock. Were you bullish on them being invested?
Well, it's sort of similar to what we were saying the other day about they're one that has their finger in every single pie. Like, I'm pretty sure they're probably top 5 in the majority of the S&P to some regard. But I don't know, just I don't know if
I don't know, have I lost you there? Guys, am I still live with you, or is it me that's lost connection?
Luke, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you there. I don't know which one of that lost connection. You're good, Liam. Okay, 100%. I'm going to share that again. I don't know, was it to do with that being shared? Okay, so with BlackRock, I'll sort of say my thoughts on it. BlackRock, I just feel they have that much money at this stage. They never really, like, it never moves the needle for me. I'm more or less surprised when they're not there.
Yeah.
We've spoken about Virgin Galactic. I'm not going to bang on about Virgin Galactic anymore. But BlackRock are heavily invested in Virgin Galactic, considering.
So for you, it doesn't really move the needle.
It doesn't make me bullish whatsoever, really.
Yeah.
Ark Invest at 5%. Did you expect more?
Well, I think she'll have to wait. Well, not just Cathy Wood, but obviously Ark Invest will end up having to wait until they start seeing some results. I think the problem at the moment is there's a slightly too much risk for them to go any heavier than they have. They're sitting just behind Adam, and Adam is the CEO of Archer. So could they really go that much more? I don't think so without actually knowing the ins and outs of the business. How did you feel about ARK Invest? What was your expectations, and were they met?
I actually thought ARK Invest would be higher, and the only reason I thought they'd be higher is because Kathy has stated how bullish she is on the Evtol industry. We know that she's 10 times bigger in Archer than she is in Joby. So this is her bet on the Evtol industry. I would have thought that the fact that she's so bullish on them, would she not want to own a large position at such an early stage? Look, like if they sold at that 872, they would have had 260 million. Look, it's a lot to us, but if you're that bullish on the company and you're Kathy Wood, would you not add another 250?
As I said, I think it will be once they start seeing results and sort of just hedging your bets, isn't it? Like to see how far they can get, because obviously we need to think that Archer have caught up from Joby, and Joby had a huge head start. So at the moment, what they've done to like pull it so close is phenomenal. And I think she's probably seen the deals. She obviously seen how much it rallied earlier on in the year, and seen it as a good opportunity. But I don't know if they'd be willing to go too heavily in at this stage, because obviously it's still in its infancy, and we're all very lucky that we're here at this stage.
And then we have Adam. Now, look, I've nothing against him being this high. I am actually happy he's this high, that he's second in it. No one deserves it more.
100%.
However, I just expected more investment from the funds. I didn't think 6.72% would be second highest. Then speaking about Stellantis, it doesn't surprise me that they have 11% of the company.
I think
go on.
This is definitely a way that they're sort of diversifying their portfolio, like in terms of if it is the next stage of travel, they want to make sure that they've got a piece of it, because otherwise they'll just be left sort of ground-bound. Like I think they need to have some sort of claim for it, and 10% is a significant share, especially with like the size of this with the size that this industry could grow to. But once again, they're so heavily invested that I'm quite confident now that they will definitely be working alongside Archer and be pushing them over the line. Because I know we did discuss about with obviously
what
happened. Obviously what's happened there, and the fact that the tranches haven't been sort of confirmed on how they're getting given. I know that's caused a few problems, both with that and with Joby. And I think we're all kind of worried when we've been told, the money's available and the money's there, but we have no sort of guarantees on how or when it's going to get given and get delivered to them, and especially in the way we are at the moment.
Now, guys, I will go back into the rest of the comments, but I've just seen Cole has put this up, so thank you so much for verifying this for us. Mark Law sold 160,000 shares on January 2nd. He still owns 27.9 million shares as we posted. At one point, he did own 10% of the company. Thank you so much, Cole, for that. This is what I just love about this community. Thank you so much for that. Now, guys, if there's anyone that disputes that, please verify why you think he has no shares.
I don't know, hear me out, and guys, let me know in the comments. But that actually could be quite an interesting video idea in terms of maybe we can discuss about how much of each of these investors have bought in and then sold out. And then we can sort of see, for example, there he had 10% and then he's down to 5%. Has ARK Invest sold out? Were they at 8%? Now they're 5%.
I'd like to do a video on like insider transactions. I actually think that'd be very interesting.
Yeah, 100%. It'd just be interesting to see what they're doing and what the deals are. So I think that's wonderful.
Oh, the links I'm sharing not confirmed he owns 0 shares. WHP. The links he's sharing not confirmed he owns 0 shares. Maybe I'm reading them wrong. He sold the rest later in January. No, I am sorry. WHP, if you're posting them in this chat, we can't see any links come up on the chat. They're blocked for us. But I think you may have posted it in the Discord. What I'll do, I'll double check on it. I think we should do a video on Murky Law because there seems to be a bit of confusion across the whole community whether Murky Law owns it or not. I will put my hands up if we are wrong, 100%. So yeah, we will do a video addressing that. So thank you for bringing that up, and that's why I do like that the guys can.
Yeah, it's an open forum. If we're wrong, just let us know. Because otherwise, we're going down a bit of a rabbit hole without even knowing.
Yeah. Then the big one, Race. Does retail move the market? Retail, 33.37%.
Yeah,
mate.
We might need to rethink. We might need to rethink our catchphrase. I think that one. Yeah. I remember when we actually we done this exercise, we were shocked by the amount that retail.
I wish you could have seen our face. We actually should have included that in the video.
Yeah.
We were like, nah, surely
retail,
not.
Yeah, retail don't move the market, but evidently they do. Well, especially in archery at the moment. Fair, yeah.
Really? Look, I remember during that big panic, and this is what I tried to say to the guys during the earnings call. I don't want to keep going back on it, but during the earnings call when there was that mass panic going around, I'm not saying that our community is even a drop in the ocean in the market, but the one thing we can say from our community, we now have 2,000. We can we have a big enough data size and people across different places across the world where we can sort of look at the sentiment. And when everyone's panicking, I can tell you if there's 2,000 people panicking, we're not the only 2,000 people that are going mad. So that's what I was more or less trying to say. And I remember we were being shut down, retail don't move the market. At 33%, when you have 33% of your holders panicking, there'd be a problem. So this is what we were trying to do. We were just trying to steady the ship and don't ever get emotional. I think that is one of the biggest lessons in investing. And I know we bang on about it. But you just can't say it enough. Emotional investing, emotional trading. Look, we all get caught out time to time. I put up a video there, 2 months ago, a month ago, where I said, was this my worst trade yet? Because I bought the likes of Rocket Lab and Archer and Joby at the all-time high. And look, we still haven't gone anywhere close to that again. But when you actually sit back and reflect, I bought into companies that I believe in. So I don't care really if I have to hold them for 10 plus years. It was just very, very frustrating at the time. And even it was the fact that every week we're on here and we could see it coming. We were, I'm not saying we knew like that this dramatic of a pullback was going to occur, but we were expecting a bit of a pullback, and I've sort of beaten myself up about it. But what I sort of want to say is this is why I just wouldn't be injecting all your capital when you see a big down day. It really depends on your strategy. Look, if you're not really into dollar cost averaging, you just want to pump in when you can, forget about it and look at it in 20 years. Look, that'll work for you too. But I just think you have to be careful. And that's why what I'm going to say is like this week I've not really paid much attention to the market. I think we still have a bit of a way to go before we get back into that bull run again. Sometimes it's nice to have a breather and sort of sit back, look at the information, see is there any reason why we should be pumping more capital in. At the moment, you know what? My head's just fried. I just feel like I just want to work, just to get more and more capital, just so I can just keep firing money into it. And that's another thing I want to say. I know I'm going on a bit of a run at the moment, but I think some people invest and they think they're going to get rich, which I fully understand. Everyone wants to get rich, but everyone wants to get rich quick.
Yeah,
And
that's the
you have to learn lessons along the way. And I think without hard work, constant due diligence, but not only that, forget about the stock market, your day job, your side hustles, anything that you can do to get extra capital. Just don't spend on unnecessary things. Look, you will eventually get rich even in the poorest stock as long as you make the right decision.
yeah.
As long as you're working hard.
No, I completely agree.
Run over.
No, literally, I just want to go back to that point you made about when everyone was selling, and like I think sometimes if you are going to sell, I'd like to think that the community here will be doing it for a reason. Like if we were on that earnings call and then Archer were like, "Oh, we're not going to be able to deliver any, or we're not going to be able to manufacture any of these midnight aircrafts until 2029," when the plan was obviously this year, the end of this year, then fair enough. I can understand some people will be like, that's too long for me. I don't want to be in it. I'm going to go. But there was nothing of that sort. Like, it was actually a pretty good earnings call. They were saying they're going to make money. There's going to be revenue coming in from Abu Dhabi. Like, there was nothing that should have caused that much panic. But obviously, it was one of the big firms, and they've sold out, created a bit of fear, and then the fear is just basically spread around, and now everyone's panicking.
Yeah, 100%. And that's why I sort of, it was the people that were panicking that were jumping into the chat and saying, why aren't you panicking, sort of thing. Like, I was talking about blue hair at the time, not going to lie. And guys, I haven't forgotten about that. I'm just waiting. Remember, I shaved my head. I'm just waiting for that to grow back, and then I'll dye it. But that's why I was talking about the time, because I just wanted to chill out the chat a little bit. Sometimes you're better just to sit down, have a cup of tea, have a chat, just relax. Like, one thing you got to learn, no matter what happens, the movement in an hour, even in a day, is not going to really have that much effect when you look at it in the long term. Yeah. So, like, aren't you better to sit down with everyone that's educated in it and have a discussion amongst ourselves before we do anything drastic? Like, we had people sell out their whole position on Archer, and then the next day we were back to where we were.
That was that was something that I think we maybe learned in that live stream, where we want to, obviously everyone that came wanted to watch the earnings call, and we didn't want to disturb the earnings call, and we seen the panic in the chat, and we did say we'll cover this after Medallic, don't panic. But obviously everyone was panicking, and in hindsight now, maybe we should have basically paused it and then said to everyone, don't like, not financial advice, but don't sell now. At least give us an opportunity to discuss this afterwards, because we can't fathom why it's just like plummeting like this. And
what made me laugh in that too was I felt like in the end we were preaching to the choir, because we had 300 people viewing it live. But then when we started talking at the end, there was like 120, So everyone that had panicked had already off the pub.
Well, they were sick,
we were talking to the people that are long-term bullish. So, like, it was a bit pointless. But you know what? We live and we learn for next time.
And I guarantee that the people that sold out now would be regretting it. And they would be kicking themselves thinking, oh, I got caught. Because that's all it is. It's a bit of a ploy. They, like, catch you out, price drops, and people buy it back in. And then it returns.
Do you think, on a reflection of that, say with the next earnings call, do you think we should come on maybe like half an hour earlier, have a discussion on scenarios that may occur, no matter whether it's good, bad, or ugly? This may occur, and do not panic. We'll address it after. And as a community, we'll come together and just don't.
I think definitely. Because I think everyone does get a bit emotional. There was a bit of banter going back and forth in the chat. Everyone was getting involved, and then literally, like a light switch just got turned on, and then that was it. It was just, I just literally watched it, and everyone was like, I need to sell. Something about earnings per share came out, and it missed expectations, and that was it. It was like wildfire.
That was like a virus in the chat.
It was, I couldn't believe it. And then I was listening to the earnings call, and I was like, the chat and the earnings call are like, it's like two completely different things. It's like it's a chat for a different earnings call. It was phenomenal.
And before I jump into the comments, I just want to finish this sort of section off with one last bit. So, Reese, we're at 2,000 subscribers. I'm proud of us for achieving it. I can't believe we've done it this quickly. It started off with a pipe dream, and consistency got us there. The community got us there. We couldn't have done it without. Look, I could read the names in the chat here. I reckon 99%, I'd say 100% of the people in this chat have been here from very early on. They seem to show up every week. Sometimes me and Reese turn around and we look at each other and we're like, why do people listen to us talking? Like, this is literally how we would have talked 2-3 years ago when we first started investing. So,
and you just find so many like-minded people, and like when we were just talking, it seemed like we were the only two that were sort of interested. There was nowhere on YouTube that was actually covering this, and then we started doing this, and we find out that there's a load of other outsiders that are equally as interested in eVTOLs.
Like, one big special shout out I want to give to Dylan Rogers. Dylan Rogers, every single day, without fail, that's how we're getting on. Do you know what it is? It's not even the eVTOL. It's the chats we have. Like, it could be like not even stock market related, and then like the likes of Cole. He's here every single week. He watches every single one of our videos. Phil, same thing. Who else we got in there? WHP, like WHP, thank you so much. I cannot thank you enough for that super chat yesterday. That meant the world at the time. So honestly, brother. Who else we got in the chat here? Do you know what? Special shout out to Bagger Holden, because he makes me laugh, you know. Terry, again, another guy that's
every week,
every single day. That's probably about it in the chat. So what I might do, might jump into some of the comments, and if any of the guys I didn't forget about you, brother. Whether you're here or not. What's this? 2,000 viewers. By the time you reach 20,000, I can't wait to see the price of Archer and Joby will be. Honestly, me and Reese spoke about this. Was it yesterday? Was it earlier? What it is, you guys, we had a big conversation about this. So you guys have been here during the rough time where the market's pulled back. Everyone's jumped out of Archer and Joby. They've been afraid. They've jumped out of Joby because there's not enough PR going around. People are getting scared about Archer because they can see the likes of Nvidia pulling back. They're seeing Palantir pull back, and now they think, well, what are we doing? But you guys show up every single week. And I'm telling you, the guys that show up every week and actually invest in their knowledge, we're not saying that we supply the best knowledge going, but what we do try and do is bring the whole community together and share all your thoughts. I do apologize. Sometimes we do miss some of the comments in Discord where there's information shared. Guys, honestly, if you want it on the show or you want a video done about it, just ping me on a private message. I don't bite, honestly. Ping me on a private message and I'll take a look at it, and we'll make videos around. Like, this channel is for you. It's not for us. It'd be a little bit boring if me and Reese just made videos for each other. So it's honestly for you.
100%, yeah. It's definitely the community that definitely makes the live stream. Like, we come on and we chat to all you guys, and it does feel like you guys are part of the conversation, even though it's like just moving them out. Like literally at the moment in the Discord, we're sort of creating like a hive mind where we're all just pulling this information from different parts, and then that's why we sort of need to be fact checked, like we were earlier. People are querying and questioning because like we're not the all seeing eye. We don't know 1,000,000% this is that or that. We can only just do our research to the best of our knowledge, and if there is other information out there, give it to us, and then we can validate that, and then we can go from there.
And this is one thing, like, I feel like the people that are here now, what are we, between X and YouTube, we're at about 25 people. You're the people that show up every single week. And what I want to do to show, like, we won't forget about the people that have been here from day dot. I am not being cocky, but if we continue on our trajectory, we will get to 5,000, we will get to 10,000, we will get to 20,000. But I always want to remember the people that were here at the start. And that's why create the relationships now. Come in, comment on our videos, come in Discord, talk about your day. Like, honestly, like we're humans. We don't just function on Archer and Joby. So honestly, guys, I want to say thank you for that. And I don't want to just be rambling on about us the whole time. I know why you guys are here. You're here for Evtol Weekly. So I am going to jump into the comments. But before I do, is there anything you want to say to add on that, Grace?
Just want to jump on the back of that with, big thank you to you guys. It's not possible without you. If you guys weren't watching, then there's no views, there's no channel. And it would just be me and Liam talking about Archer and Joby. So, great bit of insight. And, I think we can jump into the comments.
No way, Big Reese. Can I do that? Nah, I'll end up messing up the screen if I do it.
Can I start from the top and we'll work our way down?
Yeah, start from the top, work our way down. Guys, do you know what we'll do today? Can you see the comments, Race?
I can do, yeah.
So what I want you to do, I know New Blade sent me a message how we can improve our live stream. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start reading from the top. Can you see the bottom when I'm looking at the top?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, guys, interact as we come along. Reese will read out your comments, and if we want to share it on the screen, we'll do it. But I'm going to start from the bottom and go from there. That way, hopefully, New Blade, we won't miss anyone. All right.
Yeah, let's go.
A bit of innovation on the stream. I got to say this. So, Dylan Rajits, how is everyone today? Driving home, listening. We'll get more into chat in 15 minutes. Dylan always listens to us on his drive home. That is dedication, bro.
It is, yeah.
You know what? I work at home, so like I don't have to be doing much driving. I'll be dead honest with you. I remember I went through that phase. I was working like 4 hours away. I'd do it would be about 3.5 hours in the morning and 4 hours at night. That was a killer. There would have been no YouTube around that time in my life. But
you were listening to, was it like three or four books like a week or something crazy?
An audiobooks, yeah.
Yeah,
that's another thing, guys. I'm a weirdo. Yeah, I love audiobooks. Do you know what? Me and Reese, I'm reading it for a second time. Is Psychology of Money. So I listened to it on an audiobook. Now I have the hardback version, and I'm listening to that. But put it this way: this is not trying to sell the book. Like, if you don't
no royalty shares.
But it is a good book. Now, before we keep talking like nerds, let's keep going. Dan, currently getting tattooed. Do you know what? Tattoos by Rose. If Archer ever hits $100, would you get my face tattooed on your left bicep?
With the blue hair as well.
Oh, with the blue hair, with Morgan Freeman at my side. Salt Postlers.
How's it going, Cole?
Ready. So, my guess is, as they get closer to the target, they switch off their engines and go full electric for signature. I believe that's to do with the hybrid we were talking about. Do you know what? We probably should have done this at the very start, and we will adapt as the streams go on.
Yeah, maybe we'll try and keep going with the comments.
So I think both will receive Department of Defense funding. The Department of Defense is smart enough to not pick a single winner, but the Android connection, in my opinion, will ultimately lead to the Department of Defense dollars for Archer over Joby. I do think, defensive-wise, the fact that Archer have just focused on an actual specific defensive side of their business, I would hope they would outperform Joby in it. However, Joby actually has delivered it, so...
Could this be another thing, though, where Joby don't really present anything until after the results are done? So like Joby would just sort of be like, oh yeah, by the way, we had this deal, X amount million, and present it once it's all kind of finalized and about to go into manufacturing. Whereas I feel like Archer, they like to like bring you along the journey. They like to show you, they make you smell the roses. They get you along the ride. Whereas Joby's a bit more, here we go, it's done.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm getting lost in these comments. Andril is a great connection. Do you know what? The only thing that worries me about Andril, and I'm bullish on Andril. If Andril IPOs, I am straight in race. I think of last year again. But continue on that. Andril, if they IPO, I'm in there. But I just don't want to depend too much on one company because it feels like they are in control of Archer then, and I want Archer to be in control of Archer.
Yeah.
There are other players, some not on the chessboard yet. Hover. Loads of this community love Hover, you know, and is it I'm just not looking at it in...
I'm going to do my weekly check on the Hover stock price. This is I don't know what we're missing here, but...
Do you know what? I just can't hype myself up to do a video on it, but just because I just don't understand why people are so bullish on it. Yeah. Is it just the stock price, they say? Or they are looking at Archer and Joby and think we can get there? Like, I done that video on if they were like Joby and Archer's market cap. Guys, I don't think they're going to get to Joby and Archer's market cap. I was just doing it out of interest.
Yeah.
But again, if I'm wrong, tell me. Something in the Department of Defense news released, I noticed they mentioned the first Evtol is battery driven and the second isn't specified. Is this Archer or Joby? Oh, I presume that's Archer if it's... So, Andril, Archer, Evtols will be hybrid to maximize... There we go. That is probably the reason why. It's to maximize flight time and distance. That is a good point. And if anything, that probably makes more sense than my hypothesis of a medic vehicle. I think I've been watching too many films.
It's basically similar to a car, isn't it? Where the electric batteries have only got a certain limit, whereas at least with the hydrogen, you'd get a little bit further.
Yeah.
On that track.
So then, my new barefoot on full self-driving, although good for the individual driver, no more DUI speeding tickets, random charge for a tail light that takes you to jail. Is there any worry that full self-driving takes away from government? They'll just find a way to tax more. Like they'll just charge more for electricity, or they'll put some tax on something. Do you know what? I'm not too worried about that.
Yeah.
The government will always find a way to get money.
You get taxed.
I'm not worried about where the government are going to get money from. Cole agrees with that. That is funny, but I'm not going to read it out. Can't wait till AI controls data. Palantir. Trump puts 25% tariffs on foreign manufactured cars and light trucks. Does that make you more bullish on Tesla, or does it?
You'd imagine, Does it make them more competitive than in America, or not? Who knows? These tariffs, though, I think they're going to get eased up.
I think people are worried an awful lot more about the tariffs than they should be. Look, worst come to the worst, Trump's only there for like 4 years, and then you have a new administration coming in who'll want to do something completely different. It could be better, it could be worse. So I'd take it with a pinch of salt with something like this.
I always think that he's using it as a negotiation tactic. Like, this is what I can do, and then so
he's
just agree with it.
Man.
Yeah, 100%. Like, you have to be. You don't get that far in life without being a bit of a so-and-so. I'm not gonna.
Yeah. We're not gonna get into politics here.
Yeah.
Guys, before I keep going, make sure to bang that subscribe button, and if you haven't, hit the like. And do you know what? Please follow us on X, because I'm starting to post a little bit more on X. And if anyone has Instagram or TikTok, I'm actually starting to try and grow on Instagram and TikTok. So yeah, make sure to follow us. And also, we have an Archer Aviation and a Joby Aviation, the two separate groups, communities on X. They're the only ones that are out there. And guess what? The Hustle Brothers own it. That's first mover advantage. Obviously, deer will remain an uncontrollable mishap on self-driving cars, bird strikes, and turbulence to flying crows. True, like, I don't think there'll ever be zero error. Just because it's AI doesn't mean it's like error proof.
It might just be a freak accident, the 0.001% or whatever it is.
That design video was awesome.
Yeah.
Cole, I actually want to ask you a question. I remember, was it last one, you had sold all your Joby shares and you went heavier, or you went all in on Archer. Now, has your mind changed? Have you added back into Joby, or are you just full steam ahead going into Archer? I really want to know your thoughts on that, because sometimes a week sort of post-mortem change your mind a little bit and you sort of dip the toes back in. So I wonder if that was the case.
The sentiment changes, doesn't it? It sways one way and then the other. I think that's why we can't, or we don't want to choose or don't want to hedge our bets.
What is the X? I have to quickly get that for you midstream. By the way, guys, I'm still running off one screen. Since there at that last live stream, for some reason, my docking station packed up, and I do not know what's up with it because it works on my work computer.
Yeah, it's typical, isn't it? After like an update, everything's all
I nearly sent you the.
Yeah, we've had a few technical difficulties the last few weeks.
It's mad.
They've been trying to stop us, haven't they?
This is us on X. Make a Hustle Brothers Reddit. Bag, you know my thoughts on Reddit. We don't engage with Reddit. Reddit don't like us. Do you know what?
Good enough.
They don't have a big race on Reddit.
yeah. Banned.
So I can give you. Oh yeah, that was the date for. Oh, that was when we went.
That's it.
Crazy retail ownership. We did say it was wild.
Shock, really.
If you were there for when we actually found out, we were like going over it again. We're again like, nah, surely not. And we were proper trying to work it out. And then we were like looking at the shares outstanding, and we were like, no, it has to be true.
Yeah, exactly that.
And they're not as excited to get the video out. So guys, any links that you share, you probably won't be able to share them on YouTube. For some reason, YouTube's updated that you can't share links during live streams.
I think it was after all them scammers asking, like, I've lost my Bitcoin, can you type this code in?
We go through stages where, like, now and again, it's like they go on a full-on rampage where they just keep commenting on all our videos. If you remember, guys, I went through a stage where I made my videos subscriber only, and it was just because I was sick to the back teeth of hearing about Bitcoin passwords. But thankfully, come again. You're welcome. Please look back at the free link. Okay, Joby, 36.3% shares held by all insiders. Archer, 14.42 shares by insiders. What do you say? Oh,
that's a big start.
That has to be our next video. We need to look at how much retail own in Joby. I want to see how much Joe Ben owns of that. Because I was looking at the likes of Peter Beck in Rocket Lab on, like, was it 11-12%? Wow.
Yeah. Do you think that's because they're vertically integrated? Do you think that might have something to do with it? Because there's so many different stages, there might be so many different management positions, or loads of people getting different parts of buy-in.
Maybe.
It seems very high.
36%. Like, I reckon Toyota is like a substantial holder
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Joby. So like
That's-
36% is wild. And if
I
that's
think that's
true,
got to be the
Phil,
next
would
video.
you be able to send me that on either X or Discord where you found that? Because if that's true, that video is coming out ASAP. We need to dive in on that, two of us. The law of violence. So Dylan, how did he manage to get the link in? Okay, guys, Dylan's got a hack. If Dylan could share how you can get links into the chat, you're welcome to do it. A like game is on point today. 14 people, 13 likes.
Nice.
Look, this way I love you guys. Dylan, your link confirms what I previously shared on Discord. 13G filing. Mark Clause, 0 shares. Is that he's added 0 shares, or is it his outstanding shares at 0? Hello, everyone. Hello, John. That's right, Cole. And on a week where really news was minor compared with others, great to see the regular hustlers and some new likes as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what? You guys, I remember we made Hustle Brother t-shirts. Reese, I think we need to get Hustle Brother like branded t-shirts there.
Yeah.
I'm just loving this community so much.
100%. Yeah.
I want people to know that you can actually choose the shares you want to sell. Tax that selling. You can dump a few shares if you feel like you've recently overpaid and hold on to the first ones. Now, I'm going to be dead honest with you guys. We've been doing our Road to Glory, and we are going to... That is, like, me and Reese had a big discussion on that. But I don't personally use Robinhood over here. Like, in Ireland, we don't have Robinhood. And it's only recently came to the UK, so that's why we're doing it on the Road to Glory, because you're all familiar with Robinhood. But I don't know, who do you use to invest, Reese? Is it eToro?
Yeah.
Yeah, I use eToro, and but I know everyone's going to kill me here, and they're going to say the fees and this, that, and the other. Look, it is what it is. But we can choose what we sell all the time. I know Robinhood's a little bit more difficult because I had a look at that on Robinhood. I haven't really proper looked into selling because our positions are that low at the moment that normally when we sell a lot. But Dylan, thank you for sharing that. And guys, please let us know if you're with Robinhood, you're with Trading 212, you're with Interactive Brokerage. Let us know who you're with, and tell us why you're with them. So, Phil, any thoughts on new facilities opening up in Ohio? Andrew, mate, I want to share something with you. So, I'm currently doing a project at the moment. It's going to take a little bit of time, but me and Reese are doing something where we're going to create interactive graphs. We're going to be able to drill down into the data. And anyone that is in our Discord, you'll be able to view it. And do you know what? What's even better with the Hustle Brothers? You don't have to pay for it. You're a Hustle Brother, and we want you to succeed. It'll be live data that we'll get directly from Archer Joby. We'll be able to compare the two. If you want to add the likes of half it will be a bit of a big project. Like, I'm not promising that it'll be done tomorrow, the next day, and it'll be a run in progress. So I'll be the admin of the data. If you think there's anything wrong, anything can be improved, let me know. But I'll make sure that you all can view it and you can all edit the slices so you can see the different graphs, and we'll be able to drill down into it. But if it's something you really want to be into, make sure you're in our Discord, and I promise you it will be free. I read that one. I heard if subs 10x, so does the stock. Do you know what? Imagine the stock 10x as we grow. Like, we'll just keep getting exponentially bigger.
Yeah, that'd be unbelievable. But I'm pretty happy with what we have at the moment, so it wouldn't make too much of a difference. There was one comment that you brought up there. I think we just missed it, where it was from
Rogers. This one.
Yeah, but Phil, what did Phil wrote back to that one saying about the he's thinking about the both. It's 2 up from that.
Oh, 2 up from that one. I'm thinking both manufacturers' plates are full right now and rolling up their sleeves, expanding manufacturing. Oh. So, do you think Archer will remain in the lead when it comes to manufacturing with the Covington, Georgia facility, or do you just think Joby has up their sleeve and they're just going to pull out of the bag?
I think the fact that they've already delivered 2 aircrafts, I think Joby are just very secretive, and they don't really let anything out. They don't want to give away any information. They just want to keep plowing along. And they're vertically integrated, so it's a lot more insulated. It's not like an aerospace contractor can go and release some news here. Oh, they've bought this, and that means they're at this stage. Everything's in-house, so it would have to be a leak from inside the business.
Now, I don't want to be accused of pumping Archer. However, they have now come out and said this is their final design. This is what they're doing. They now have their manufacturing facility in place.
Yeah.
And they're ready to go. I just think they're at the start line ready for off.
We'll start seeing now, isn't it, June, where they should be getting their first 2. I'm really excited for the next earnings call. I think the next earnings call...
I just think, guys, strap yourself in for this next 9 months, I think.
Yeah. Can you imagine this time next year? They should be, at that point, we should have the type certification, and we should be seeing them in different locations around the world.
No way big races are human.
That's what they say.
If I'm correct, you can lock up 100 shares of Joby at $7, January 16, 2026, of 165 to purchase the contract. Dylan, you actually need to come on one of our Road to Glory streams and teach us a little bit about options, because honestly,
I'd love to learn about
that. Your video yesterday proves in spades you're human, Liam. Thank you, guys.
That was a great video, Liam. Just wanted to give you
No, thank you, guys. Thank you for the support. I didn't expect that much support. It was more. Do you know what? I haven't even said this to Reese. It was one of those days where do you know it's like tough, and you're sort of looking back, and then you're I had no motivation. I'm telling you, this week I had no motivation on the stock market. Didn't really care about the stock market. I didn't have much motivation about the channel, anything. And I thought, do you know what? Instead of sitting here doing nothing, why don't I actually express how I'm feeling and just see what guys think? So thank you, guys. And again, WHP, thank you so much for the super chat. You really didn't need to do that. Cole F agrees. Thank you, brother. Now, getting back to the beloved Evtol Weekly. Build 25 aircraft annually. Are we talking about
from next year?
I'm thinking 25 annual for 2026. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If Joby is not sharing info with the retail base, hopefully they're sharing it with the right analysts.
Yeah.
But this is kind of what I got accused of one day, where they reckon that they're not allowed to not share information unless it's public. I don't honestly believe that. It might be a bit of a conspiracy theory, but I just think the ones high up in BlackRock know a little bit more than Liam and Reese know about certain stuff.
There's obviously the rules, and then there's like ways around the rules.
Then there's rules,
conversations and stuff like that. Yeah.
Like
some stuff, if it's off the record, it's very difficult to prove, isn't it? So I guess we're not going to get to the bottom of it, but yeah, I would not be surprised at all.
I don't want to accuse anyone of anything.
No, 100%.
There's ways around everything in life.
Yeah. And for the record, the hustle butters are saying all rules were abided by.
Yeah. We would never.
Yeah.
But Reese,
Yeah.
if you knew information,
Yeah.
you got to be very careful with. Reese, hypothetically, if you knew information, you would invest quite heavy into a stock, would you not?
Yeah, me or maybe a distant relative or a friend of a friend of a friend.
Who does
we just
Martin
had
know?
who just had a very lucky day in the stock market. It's
Nah,
a bit like the politicians, isn't it, over in America? Like
yeah.
they like earn like 200 grand a year, but they've got like a portfolio of like 200 million. Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi has been making a killing, but like she just picks the right stock every time. She's better than Cathy Wood.
Well, it's a bit like, do you know that story on the Psychology of Money where it was during the Great Depression and like there was people on Wall Street and they were taking their life. Like, it was a bad time because they were like over leveraged on positions and stuff. And then a wife and all that were worried about their loved one. And what he had done, he had shorted the market completely. And he had made himself like a multi-millionaire. And like at that time, that would have been like billions.
Yeah. So the family thought that he'd sort of disappeared, let's say, or but he turned back in, waltzed in the door, like, we're absolutely minted now.
Didn't he lose it all then after that? Not long after that.
Yeah, he
went back in. There's a good thing in that book, and it sort of says there's two different people. There's people that take a lot of risk and they can make money quickly, but you need completely different skills to maintain wealth, because you cannot have the same strategy you use to make this money. Because sometimes, I don't want to say that people have luck on certain occasions, but people do have luck, and you wouldn't pull off the same move again. But when you're that much risk tolerant, you can lose it all very quickly.
Yeah, in that book, it does mention a lot about like luck, doesn't it? It says like luck does play a factor in a lot of different decisions. Like it might not be the main factor, but there are multiple things that can go wrong or go right, and it does depend a little bit on where
I think everything in life is luck. Like, look, if me and you were content creators back when Tesla was first starting, and we done like, I don't know, Tesla Weekly, we would be multi-million YouTube channel right now.
Yeah.
But we've then got into Evtol at the right time, and there was no one really doing it at the time. However, someone starting up that could be better than us will still find it harder because we've already got there. So I just think that a lot in life is luck, and it's about doing what you believe in and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the biggest things. Like everything in life is consistency, whether it comes to the stock market, putting in money every single week, dollar cost averaging, whether it's working hard. Look, if you show up every single day, you're going to be there on the really good days. When things go your way, you're going to be there. But I can promise you, and me and Reese have had them on the channel here, where you just show up some days and you could put in 100% effort. You could have the worst day at work and you come on and you do a video and you've put in hours into this video and you get 100 views and you just feel like, you know what, I've lost it. And then you could have the best day ever at work. You just come on, do a video where it's, I don't know, a little bit light-hearted and just talking off the chest, and it could bang. And then it could be at work. As long as you're there every day,
you're always getting that marginal gain, aren't you? That
you're always getting a marginal gain, and I can promise you, you're going to be there on your worst day, but you are going to be there on your best day. And if you don't miss a day, you're going to be there on your luckiest day.
Yeah.
I love Kevin Hart said a quote that the sun will always rise again. No matter how shit days are, it will always rise again.
100%. What was that? That phrase with that guy at the. No, I've lost it. The WHP is backing me up with the tariffs being a negotiating tool. I 100% believe that. I don't think
anyone here that hasn't seen Reese's tariff video, because I'm surprised not many people were viewing it.
Yeah, it's something that we need to bear in mind, and especially in the market where Joby and Arch are in and buying parts. And obviously they're both set up very differently in terms of their manufacturing process. But it's definitely something worth viewing if anyone wants to go back and check it out.
Is Vertiv a big player in Georgian data center build-out? I want to hear a little bit more about Vertiv. I haven't been paying attention to Vertiv ever since we bought into it. And look, that is my bad.
But I did like it at the time. I think we need to do a little checkup on that.
Just because Joby flew the hydrogen aircraft on 80 kilos doesn't mean that they could.
Oh, you're going to get bag started with this one.
That's like revving a lawnmower up. Didn't I? Don't know what's your ex. So we shared that one there. Dylan, I clicked on your name there and I nearly banned you. Imagine. Make Costa Brothers ready. Do you know what? Like, you could do like a parody channel of us on Reddit. I'll let you do that. I have not added back Joby. I got a lot of Archer at 706. Absolutely no regrets. And you know what? I'm happy for you. That is the kind of attitude I wanted to hear. I didn't want to hear that you're regretting it or something like that. And this shows it was the right decision for you. If you have 100% conviction in the company and you fully back your decision, there's no point being diversified. Take that a pinch of salt, I'm saying that, but I believe there's no point in being diversified just because it's the right thing to do. If you have full-on belief and you've done your due diligence right, why not? Does that mean more institutional in Archer? If so, I prefer that. Potentially, or it could just mean there's more of them. Like you could have the likes of Vanguard and all that lower down the list. So it doesn't, just from looking at that amount of data, we can't really tell. WHP, you probably already know or do, but check the SEC link I put in the chat and all the filing forms we can find there. Have we verified? Is it 0 shares or is it 27 million? It's because he has a wrench. Wrench meaning, I see the wrench. A moderator. Oh, I got confused there. Got it, makes sense. Yeah, I think the wrench. Let me get the. Oh, that's why you could get the link in. I thought he was hacking. Moderator can. Imagine making Bag a moderator.
Oh god, I feel like he'd kick everyone.
Bag, I beg you, come on one of our streams. I would love to see some of your thoughts and opinions on our stream. I actually think the community would love it too. I'm getting my information from Yahoo Finance at Joby and Archer stock page under financials. I'm getting so confused now with the amount. I can't remember what you said, Phil. Was it Marky Law is invested or isn't invested?
No, I think he said that he wasn't.
Wasn't. So, thanks, Phil. Let me check out the Yahoo data more as well. Look at how Robinhood has invited creators to their event tonight. The prime companies are leaning into retail. Don't be surprised when you get a call to meet Joe and Adam. Do you know what? It'd be like meeting your hero.
It'd
Wouldn't
be,
it?
it'd be monumental, really.
Well, sure, you met Joe when you went for the interview with Joby, didn't you?
with Joby.
Yeah, weren't you going to be their speaker on the next conference call?
Yeah. And then Morgan Freeman got the job.
Yeah.
I just hope Joe
Reese
Ben
is
hasn't
doing a
said that.
lone live stream for the next earnings call. I'll be there, just in spirit. Final design and early summer shipment to Abu Dhabi for sure. Neither is close to be able to manufacture. Oh, I see Cole's comment coming up, and it's a cracker. They can't share selectively. Legally, they can only do it. Yeah, agreed. Legally, they're not allowed, but we know there's many things that happen when there's money involved and big money. Many things can happen, and this is coming. I couldn't wait to see Reese Pelosi.
Do you know what? I'd give her a go for 100 million.
Do you know what? I'd love to go for a beer with Cole. He actually seems like such crack.
He's a boy, isn't he?
I think they would publicly announce any good news immediately. Pelosi. I saw a video about that guy. Who? Reese Pelosi?
Yeah.
Like a Holden, not true. I have verified info Archer's building in Georgia. Reese Pelosi and Liam Buffett. I love it, guys. Jesse Livermore. Cole, if you didn't know, that is also my son's name. Great name, by the way. Dylan is such a dad, not gonna lie. I know that's completely off topic, but he is really good to his son. There are still building prototypes. They haven't even built a type conforming craft to start testing. So what would they manufacture? They're years away if it's ever possible to get one certified. I feel like we're just going to go back and forward for the next 9 months with Bag. And you know what? Yeah. Eventually one of us is going to be right. I'll hold my hands up if we're wrong, but I really don't think we are. I wouldn't be putting money in it.
And Bag, you have to come on if you... I think if they say this time next year, and it does actually, we get the certification and it's up flying, we need you to come on and say, "Held my hands up." I was a bit off the mark.
We'll make a deal here live, yeah. If they ever get certified, you have to come on here and you have to apologize to the community for doubting it. However, if something comes out and says it's a hoax and it's not true and they could never do this, you can come on and you can take the mick out of the two of us and we will apologize to everyone. Yeah, I think that's a good deal.
I think that's a good deal. That'd be class.
With new admin, FEA support, I believe cert for both is a 2026 event, first half for It wouldn't surprise me if it's 2026, not gonna lie. Ban me, I'll be back. 100% agree. Cole, where are you from? You're from the UK, but where in the UK? Your son must be solid.
He's got the same name.
Dylan's son will be an ambassador for the Hustle Brothers. He will be on this channel one day.
He will, yeah. He'll be there with Adam Goldstein.
Dylan's training him from young. He will be the man that takes over when we retire.
Yeah.
I'm 100% Archer. No disrespect to Joby, who'll be fine. WHP, if I remember, you have a massive position in Archer. I was actually really impressed with some of the positions I was seeing in Archer. Like, I mean, substantial. Don't need to be a moderator. I wouldn't do anything. Bag mod in this chat is the best because everyone is so respectful and love the different points of view. Love your bear cases, Bag. Keeps me grounded. No pun intended. Do you know what? He does.
Yeah.
The odd time they're a bit elaborate, but most of the time I can kind of see where he's coming from, and he does make me double think some of my bull cases.
He shows us the other half of the field.
Yeah.
And it's a different perspective, which is needed.
Honestly, this community wouldn't be the same without Bag, so Bag, we appreciate it.
He's a character.
If they made me a moderator, I'd have to ban myself every stream. Oh, you're from Canada. Why did I think you were from the UK? It was because you said Liverpool on one stream.
Oh,
I
yeah.
presumed you were a Scouser. 51st.
That's topical.
Shots fired. Certified. I'll put my hands up if they deal. No. Not in 12 months. If they do it, you said it's not possible. But I think 12 months. Potentially.
12 months, it'd be an interesting one. Should we say this time next year, the 1st of April, April Fool's Day? No better day to do it with Bag.
Brother, look at this. 500,000 cost price in Archer. WHP. Your
Hustle Brothers are
very,
a significant part of the retail.
What makes me laugh, someone put in the comments that he doubts that our community has, was it 190,000 worth of Archer? WHP nearly has that alone.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
don't come for this community.
WHP moves the market.
Yeah. He was the one in the chat saying about the EPS.
yeah.
He's going to buy back in. He wanted a cheaper price.
You thought that because I'm a Reds fan. Real footy team. Do you know we're going for the Champions League, brother?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah. There's two things that could happen. If we got to the final, me and Reese either won't show up for the next month because we're celebrating, or we won't show up because we're crying. Flying cars in the skies in China, flying taxis flying in the UAE. Do you think Trump will allow us to fall behind the world? Think not getting FAA. That's a good point. Trump's not going to let China take over.
I think he might have to leave it a year or so after them recent accidents. So and make sure that all of the safety precautions are taken. Like he can't have any more on his watch now, because obviously that was from the last.
This year is your year. Trust the process.
What did it? Patrice ever said it was we're like Netflix. Every time it's next season.
Yeah. The weight can't include seats.
It was 80 kg. That's just one person, isn't it?
So wait, the weight can't include seats, and they need a full-size battery. But that helps us, no?
No, because he's saying otherwise it would be the seats could be 80 kg. So you just fly like a drone, sort of.
But surely they're not going to put a person in the Evtol without seats. That would go against all regulations. Yeah, okay. Buy us all memberships, WHP. Duffy has already said the FAA won't let us.
Yeah, that was a big appointment, I think, Duffy.
Bag the pilot would be £200. Imagine Bag was the pilot.
Oh, God. He'd probably do a kamikaze mission just to make sure it didn't fly.
Yeah. Reese, on a serious note, would you be one of the first? Do you know, now before people think I'm getting carried away, this is a complete hypothetical thing. If Joby rang you tomorrow, or Archer rang you tomorrow, and said, look, guys, the two of you can be the first ever people on the Midnight or the S4, are you getting on?
Do you know what? I think we'd have to do it we'd have to do a video about it.
I would be absolutely shaking, bro.
Oh, yeah. But to be honest, we know that they've done so many tests beforehand.
But we wouldn't have to worry because we'd only step on it. Bag reckons it won't fly.
Yeah. And there'll be no seats either, so...
Yeah, we have nothing to worry about. I'd be happy to be first or first 100 or early, absolutely. You'd be happy to be first. That's letting them hang. Like, do you know what? Fair play, brother, because I am big into Evtol. However, I'm not afraid of flying, but I would be afraid of going first in one of them.
No, agreed. But I was quite happy to see that they are bringing it over to London. That's with Joby, not obviously with Archer, but yeah, with the Virgin Atlantic.
What I want to do, Race, to thank the guys for staying on this long. I'm feeling generous today. Guys, make sure you've hit that subscribe button to be entered in a Hustle Brother draw. Do you know what, guys? Follow us on X to be entered in the Hustle Brother draw. And then me and Reese are only going to be here for another 4 minutes. So make sure you follow us on X and I will get the draw underway. Reese, what are your thoughts for this week? Where could you see the market going? Or do you think it's a little bit more of the same?
Since we're talking about Bag, he's got a bit of a theory that after an Evtol weekly by the Hustle Brothers, the stocks rallied by 10%. Now, I'm not saying that we're moving the market, because we always say retail doesn't move the market. But it's far more than a coincidence now. We've done 13 of these, and we've seen 13 sudden rallies. So, yeah, I can see it going up, to be honest. I hope it doesn't go up too much, because I do want to add. And I'd like to accumulate a bit more at this sort of price range. But if it doesn't go up, I think it would just stay steady. I can't really see it pulling back too much more. What about you? What's your opinion for this week?
Well, Bag does say that every week, yeah. And I actually thought he was taking the mic, and then I actually started looking at it, yeah. And I was like, it actually does do it. However, guys, I think it's just a coincidence. I feel like on Tuesday, Wednesday, I always feel like we get a pump on the Monday, drop on the Tuesday, and then it starts leveling off Wednesday and going up. And I just think that's more of what it is about. But you know what? I'll take it. If you want to say the Hustle Brother pump.
Yeah. We'll have to start doing more live streams if that's actually...
yeah.
We're going to pump it to
a rollover of them.
$100, yeah.
So, guys, I'm about to run a giveaway. So we have gifted 5 Hustle Brother memberships, and this is to thank you guys for being here. After my video yesterday, I cannot thank you enough for the support. And just look, you've been with us for an hour and a half. So
it's big 2,000 as well.
So thank you to Chris Shepherd, Trayan Jewel. What is it? Brahma. We have Daniel Garrett, KHT. I don't even want to try and pronounce that name. And then we have Remy. Race. This community. I want to finish off by saying 2,000, brother. Did you ever expect this to happen?
No way, and definitely not this quick. And to get such a I feel like we're all quite close. Feels quite close knit now. We all sort of get each other's banter, and we're all on the same sort of vibe. So yeah, it's just a big thank you to you all. Couldn't have done it without you. How are you feeling?
I just can't believe this has happened. Like, how are people watching us, brother? And after the year we've had, I just don't know how we've got to 2,000 this quickly. Yeah. I have no intention of us taking the foot off the pedal. If anything, I think the foot has to go
further down. We've seen how many retail investors are in the eVTOL companies, so we can grow this out.
Oh my God. WHP. My daughter will be studying Galway this fall. We'll have to connect with you directly before then. Meet us. Honestly, brother. Meet us, yeah? I'd love to chat to you. Dylan, we are watching because you're putting in all that work. Congratulations on the 2K Hustle Brothers. Now, last thing, race.
Yeah.
We said it at the 1,000 that we would get there for March. When are we getting to 3,000?
3,000. I think we need to go a bit more ambitious now. Should we say,
guys, help us here. When are we getting to 3,000? And we're gonna set. Do you know what we'll do? Every live stream, I'll put a clock up there and see where we are and where we're at, and we'll see if we can get us there. When's 5K? Okay, are we going for 5K?
I'd say 5K. Oh, 5K is that's a huge number. Over doubling in size.
That's over double. We haven't even made it to 5 yet.
5K would be towards the end of the year. I think it'd be.
Go for 5.
November would be where I'm saying in my head doing the maths on it. But if you want to go somewhere a bit more ambitious,
5K at September 17th, 6 p.m. UK time.
It's very specific. I like it.
By summer 26. 100K by summer 26. Mate, WHP, we'll all be sitting on a beach, and you know what? I'll bring every single one of the people that are in this chat there. Do you know what? I actually want to say that the people that are here, we're not going to forget about you.
No,
all jokes aside, and this is not me being cocky, I know as this sector grows, I know we are going to grow with it. We're branching out into Rocket Lab, into Redwire Space. I don't want to spread ourselves too thin either. I want to stick with these Evtol guys because we're just so bullish on the industry, and it's our baby. We have to stay with the guys. So we will. Our goal is to be the leaders in this industry when it comes to content creation. We're definitely the biggest Joby and Archer daily channel. My goal is to be bigger than Joby and Archer's YouTube within 24 months. Like they have, is it 15,000 one of them has, and the other has 16,000 subscribers. I believe we can get that done. 100K by 2026. Do you know, I speak to a few creators, and 100K is a completely different strategy. It takes away from what we actually want. We want a community where we can talk to everyone, have the banter like this, have people in the chat. 100K, it just gets messy, and it just doesn't feel like you're.
And I feel like you get more like people trolling and writing, and just people that aren't actually enthusiasts anymore. They're just there to sort of cause trouble. Whereas this feels a bit more like a family sort of vibe to it, where everyone's here on the same sort of wavelength and with the same sort of ambition.
Liam Reese, when you start getting your feet wet with Rocket Lab, I'll have to hook you guys up with Matt Money. Maybe you'll get on their Rocket Lab weekly channel. Will get you more subs, in my opinion. And that's another thing. I admire them guys. I know I'm going a little bit off topic, but I feel like it just needs to be said because this is a monumental achievement for us. When we started, I remember Scott O, he was on about 1,800. Dave G was on, was it 5,000? Vince was on 4,200, and Matt Money was just over 10. I just admire them guys. If you look at our content, it's very different today. Is in one way, is in we have a different kind of, I don't know, storytelling approach. So one thing I never want to do is step on anyone's toes. I don't ever want to feel like, say, Vince, for example, or Dave G, or any of them are putting out a video, I don't want to feel like at any point we're in competition with them. I want us to be able to. Do you know what? I studied science in uni, and it's one of those things where like you want to build on each other's knowledge. So, say, I don't know, Scott O puts out a video. I want to be able to build on that, and then I want him to be able to come back and look at our one and build on that. So it like creates a broader knowledge for the whole community. Now I know I haven't spoke to any of these guys about this. So before one of you clips it and sends it to them saying that Mr. Liam is saying this, that, and the other. Look, these guys might not want to deal with us, and that's 100%. But I would be honored to be able to speak to any of these guys one day. Like, looking at the moment, Matt Money is way bigger than us. I admire everything he does with his Cash Flow Chronicles, the live streams. Like, I want to get into Rocket Lab. It is my passion, and we do put out videos on it. But you'll notice I'll only ever put out videos when they don't put out a video on it, because I don't want to be seen stepping on their toes. And then Dave G is just an absolute genius. Like, he dominates that space sector, and he's like branched out to like relativity and red wire and stuff like that. I followed Dave G since day dot. Vince, I'm going to be dead honest with you. What are you watching now? You're watching Evtol Weekly. I'm not saying that we've copied them, but like we kind of have. Like, we have done an Evtol version of Rocket Lab Weekly, and Rocket Lab Weekly followed Palantir Weekly. So we're just doing something different there. And then Scott O, mate, he's just a wizard when it comes to financials, graphs, anything to do with the data side of the stock. I just think we bring something different when it comes to storytelling, being able to relate back to the people. And that's why it's hard. I have a vision with everything, and the Evtol channel or the Evtol place, I feel like we're able to like spread our wings and we can sort of do whatever we want. We don't have to worry about upsetting other people. But I would just, it wouldn't sit right with me, us trying to muscle our way into the Rocket Lab guys, because they have been there first. They are heroes of ours. I know it sounds really weird to say, but they are heroes of ours. We've looked up to them from the start, and it's weird looking at it now. I remember me and you at the start. When you watch this get clipped and sent to them. I remember me and you at the start, and we got the four of them up, and there's another guy, but I don't know if I really want to mention the YouTuber's name. Because then you'll think we're getting like away with ourselves. But when we started this, and you can look back at our original videos, I look back at them sometimes. They're shocking. Am I ever going to take them down? No, I'm not. Because I want you to see where we've come from. Like, it's been less than a year. And I want everyone here after this stream to go back to our first videos and see how different it was. And then it went through stages. Then we started getting different cameras, started getting mics,
the red screen, the red background.
Like, we have the monitors everywhere. We have the power banks. We have everything. Like, the way it's grown in a year is so mad. And it's just, I remember at the very start, me and you having a call and putting the guys down and being like, do you reckon we could ever be as big as them? And it was like, nah. And then I remember Stock Trek Girl, and I'd love her to be able to come back. I actually might reach out to her. She was big into Joby Aviation, and I loved her content. And it was as she started dropping off, that's when we started. And I remember originally I thought it'd be class to have a collaboration with her, and that offer is still always open there. I don't care if it takes her 5 years to come back, and I don't care if we're at I'm not going to say a prediction because someone's going to say there's no way you're getting that big. But I don't care what level we're at. Yeah, 5K. Offer's still always open for her. The offer will always be open to collab with Stock Trek Go, Vince's Bullish, Scott O, Matt Money, Dave G. Offer will always be open because they helped us get here. And I know I've gone on a bit of a rant, but you know, it's a bit emotional getting here. 2K, bro. Like,
yeah, no, it's a big achievement. It's a big milestone. And pretty much reiterate everything you were saying there. And I think for them, every one of them has their own sort of niche and speciality.
Yeah.
And definitely, looked and watched their videos and sort of tried to take pieces from everyone. And you're not ever going to do it as good as the original, but yeah, you can take pieces of what they've done and then try and incorporate them in your own videos. And I think that's what we have done going forward.
And guys, could you ever see us collaborating? I want to know. Like, be dead honest. If you go, no, guys, you're like completely different, or like you're just not as good stuff. I want to know. Like, honestly, I want to know. I want to see how we have to improve to get on that type of level. Like, Reese, do you ever get imposter syndrome in this?
Yeah, every time. Like since the start, it still feels like it. Even that we're now at 2,000, you still feel like you're the imposter in this space. What about you? How do you get?
I'm going to be dead honest with you. I am not the most confident speaker when it comes to anything like that. And that's why, look, guys, I do waffle and awful and that. And if you ever think I'm waffling, just tell me to shut it. But yeah, like every time I make a video, it's like, how's this going to perform? What are we, how's it going to fit the community? Like, me and you spoke about this the last day, and it's like, we could go for a stage. Like, that Archer Earnings call, we were the biggest streamer of that, and there was a big YouTube channel that has up on 80,000 subscribers. And we outgunned them dramatically when it comes to the stream. And it made us quite happy in ourselves. But then for the whole week after that, our videos dropped, and then it was like, have we not got it anymore? Have we upset everyone? So it's a humbling experience sometimes.
No, 100%. But yeah, I think a big shout out to everyone. And once again, I don't think we can say enough. Is just a big thank you to you all. I think it's getting time for bed. I've got work in the morning. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good night from me, guys. And let's hope for another big week in the Evtol space.
Reese, same time next week. Evtol Weekly, 5,000 subs. Away we go.
Okay, see you later, guys.